Hey there, I'm author Shannon Reber, and this is Genre's Bookshop Podcast. And tonight, the three of us are back at you.
Three
So, the three
amigos.
amigos, that's a good one.
The
Love
three.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on, that's Chevy Chase, right? That's the
And
Chevy Chase
Steve
movie?
Martin
Steve
and
Martin. Who's the other guy?
Martin Short.
Martin Short. Yes, okay. All right, I haven't seen that in forever.
Yep. Me either.
Well, gotta fix
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Okay, so we each read a book we wouldn't normally read, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is something I definitely
Oh.
wouldn't have read. I would have picked it up on my own.
Glad it was you and not me.
But
Same.
I will, and I will say this. First of all, when the group that I'm in, it's what the Road Readers, when they said it was like on Amazon for like $1.99. So I picked it up on my Kindle. Then I was at Walmart. I'm like, I'm gonna go look at the book section. And guess what? They actually had it.
Oh my
Walmart.
goodness.
At Walmart. You got you a
GBC, yeah.
raunchy Walmart is what you
Yeah.
got.
It is a raunchy Walmart. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
and I
Should
bought
have
a
been
cough
right next
syrup.
to the one about finding Jesus.
Yeah, it was. Right
You're
next to
going to
the
need one right after the other.
You're gonna need that, yeah.
King
The
James
Bible,
first, and then the
Yeah.
Bible study in the
yeah.
Lakewood Walmart. No, I had to buy cough syrup,
All
and
right.
they ID'd me for cough syrup. And I at the
Oh.
time I wasn't that far into the book, but then I'm like, they should have ID'd me for the book. This is porn.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
definitely.
Okay, so since you're talking, you got to keep going, dude.
Okay,
You got
so
to
the
tell
book
us
I
about the
read
book.
is Priest by Sierra Simone. It's like I said, it's considered dark romance.
Okay.
But to me, someone who'd never really read the genre before, it's erotica, it's porn, it's smut, it's yeah, and and it's funny because in the group I'm in, it's all these women that are very young-ish. I mean, I'm 40, so they're like in their 30s, all have families, all have their Facebook cover photos, like their family thing, and it's porn. It's essentially porn. And
Did y'all all
it's
read that together?
I don't know. I mean, my parents read like Goodnight Moon. Apparently, these kids, I
I
don't know
mean,
what
did
these.
y'all read it as a group? Like, I mean, not together, like when
Yeah,
y'all were sitting together talking
after
about,
I said Goodnight Moon, I realized
your
what it was.
flamingo legs or whatever. Then
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
Well,
got
I
her.
read. I haven't finished the book, but I'm far enough. I
Oh,
give it a good review. So there's this one scene. She's in they don't call it the confession booth, but it's essentially a confession booth. And she comes out, and the priest comes out, and they decide to have a little fun time,
oh my
right?
gosh. I
By
can
the
feel my face like turning
Yeah,
red.
and it's pretty descriptive. I mean, I've never read porn, but I'm assuming that's how it's written.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Okay,
and
now hold on. You need to explain the difference between erotica and dark romance.
see the
Because
person like because I on the group chat I mentioned like this seems like porn. What's the difference between dark romance and porn? And basically they said dark fantasy was more like taboo relationships and more non-consensual sort of thing. Like there's
okay.
definitely a power. Well, erotica is more like consensual and
Okay.
more like, and I'm like, all right, but yeah. So I read what I said about the scene right after the confession. I read that at the laundromat this morning, and there's like a 3-year-old running around. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
oh yeah, you gotta hide the book from the little kid. Yeah.
well, no, they can't read.
You don't
Can-
know.
They're
I
like, when
should
they're like,
also tell you that my child was reading at 18 months. So they're out there.
They are
well,
out there. I met a little boy who came into the shop, 3 years old, sounding words out with his mom.
okay, well, maybe
Hopefully
put
that
this
one
one,
wasn't one of them.
Hopefully not,
put it
yeah.
on a higher shelf because they definitely
Yeah.
aren't tall.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yes. Of
But
all the
yeah,
Okay.
things
so
we know of 3-year-olds, they are not
yeah,
tall.
They are
it's
not tall.
yeah. I mean, the one thing, the like more of a not just because it's there's not a whole lot of character development right at the beginning because you want to get
Sorry.
do want to feel for this priest because he has these needs, if you will, and the lady Poppy, her name is, which
Oh dear.
Of course
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Of course it's
Of course.
Poppy.
Yes.
yeah. So they're not. I was just like, oh, he's a priest in a small town. Boom, boom, boom. Pretty girl comes to
Did you
confess, and
have
he
to say boop,
gets.
boop, boop?
Well, it's like I said, I told you what it reads like.
I
So
got you. Oh,
so
struggling.
you don't really feel bad for like you kind of want to know more. And maybe later in the book that he's going to
Okay.
describe it because it is part of a
Right.
three book series. Maybe you have to
Yeah.
read the whole series as a group to really understand what this guy goes through. But he just seems like a big horn dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You gotta
now-
give your
She's more
character
than
some
good.
empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's
Mm.
kind of like a flirt, but it's just weird. It's just yeah.
Mm.
But so far, I mean, like I said, it's not something I normally read. I will finish it for the sake of the group.
Right.
And the chat is unintentionally hilarious.
Okay.
It's like they're reading smut, but they have Bible quotes in their Facebook and stuff. It's great. I just like the weird.
Right behind the scenes. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
Okay, now hold on a second. I have seen Priest talked about on TikTok a lot,
Mhm.
but what are the two other books in the series? Do you know?
Sinner and Saint. But then there's also Midnight Mass, which like is novella, and then like a story that's called the Sinner Story. So it must be a story within a story. I
Okay.
just Googled it because it said it was book one. I'm like, ooh, what are the other ones?
So, just out of curiosity, do you think you will read book 2 and 3?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Mm, No, maybe if I'm. No, I don't.
No, don't tell us
Maybe
if you do, okay?
if the ending is, because that's what everyone says. Oh, the ending, you'll never guess the ending. You'll never guess the ending. I'm like the beginning part's pretty boom, boom, boom. Like, I don't know how they can top it off.
With a cherry and some whipped cream, evidently.
Well, we'll find that out. We'll find that.
I just
There's no
scared
food.
my cat away with
Sorry.
my
No food
laugh.
play.
Sorry.
No food
No
play.
filter.
But
No
so
filter
far,
on that
I'd
one.
give it like a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
I mean, if you
I'm
take away the
surprised,
sex
yeah.
from the story, I feel like I'm only
Oh my
about
gosh,
30
he
pages
said it.
in.
He said
I'm
it.
actually
He
like
said
100 pages in.
Okay. How long is the book?
Like 300.
Okay. Okay. I have to tell you, I actually read recently, and I think I finished it last week. The book Haunting Adeline, which is it's the same people who recommend Priest recommend this one. It is also disgustingly raunchy, where the stalker is the stalker becomes the first uh first he like sexually attacks her and then she likes it, so they keep going, and it's awful, and it ends like
That,
just as awfully, and I'm like, no, I'm not reading book 2. I'm done. I would rather have dragons. Let's go back to dragons, thank you.
yeah.
I'm good with those.
Yeah, I only read one. I read one raunchy book. Remember that, Shannon? And I was so uncomfortable with it. I read that
do
Peter Pan.
remember.
What was that called? That Peter Pan one?
Oh, it wasn't Hook.
Oh,
It
man.
was
No, it was.
yes,
Peter
I do.
It was
I hated
something
that
Peter
book too.
Pan. I was not. I was like,
It was
is this
Peter
ever
Pan.
gonna?
Yeah,
Is it ever gonna have a story? Is this
Peter Pan
this
is a
girl's
bad
getting it?
guy.
He's
Peter
doing
Pan
it
is
for
a bad
bad.
guy. Wendy is a oh, is that necrophiliac? Is that wait? No, that's not right.
You have sex with dead people?
Nymphomaniac.
Thank you.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
my
a whole,
my brain is fried.
Yeah,
Nymphomaniac
and
is people
she
that-
goes to the island of lost boys and just starts
And has sex with everybody. Yeah.
everybody. And at
Yeah.
one
All the
time, it's with
boys?
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, with two at one time.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
one was in the, one bent over the
Yeah.
camera,
Okay.
and she with the other one in front of it. I was like,
Yeah.
this is awful. I was so uncomfortable reading it. And I was like, Shannon, have you read this?
Yes. Yes.
This
yes.
is trash. I didn't read the second one or the third one either, but I was like, the whole time I
Good
was
for
going,
you for
this is
finishing it though.
Yeah, I'm
I
surprised.
I was pretty proud of myself too,
Yeah.
but and even Jed was like, "What are you reading?" I was, "Nothing." But I did finish. I was like, "Jed, this is awful. This is terrible stuff. This isn't even like good ideas. I'm getting nothing from this. Just teenage angst and a lot of sex."
Yeah, lots and lots of sex. Yeah.
And
I was not impressed by that book. But I feel
That
like it was
all
called
fairy
Hooked.
tales need to be made into pornos?
yeah, that's a thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, so so now that we can get off the dark fantasy / erotica, Andy, I think
Yes.
I think you should review your book.
Okay, well, to directly juxtapose what that guy did, what a fantastic word. The
It is. It's a
author,
great word. Well done.
the book that I read is House of Dark Shadows, and it's like a thriller kind of suspense book, but it's written by a Christian author.
Okay.
Wow.
And anyway, so it starts off with Xander, and he's a young man. He's like in 9th grade, 10th grade, something like that, high school. Maybe he's a senior. I don't know.
Okay.
But they're all the same to me at this
Oh,
point.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
so he has a little brother named David, and he has a little sister named Talia. And then I think it's Talia.
I like
Anyway,
that name. That's a good name.
it's a good name.
Mm.
So they move from LA to this tiny house in Northern California. And this house, like he said, when they pull up to the driveway, like his dad like gets a new job in this town, and it's a typical story. And they pull up to the house, and he says he feels like the house is looking at him. And before he can like, and he's like,
Oh.
he goes away, and they go away and they talk about it, think about it. And then before he can be like, look, Dad, like I don't feel right about that house, his dad's like, well, take it. So they move into the house, but they find out this awful history of this house where the there was a family, and the mom disappeared from the house,
Oh.
and nobody knew what happened to her. And then the family after that left the house and has never been heard from since, and nobody knows what happened to them. And then
Oh.
they
Okay.
start seeing, like while they're cleaning up and stuff, they start seeing like these huge footprints in the hallways, like in the dust. And it'll go and they'll lead like they'll see the back half, like they'll follow the footsteps, and then they'll see like the back half of it at the wall. Like,
What?
where did they
Oh.
go? And then he's like playing hide and seek with his brother, like David, the little brother. He's like middle school age. He's like playing hide and seek with his brother or his sister or something, one of them. They're playing hide and seek together.
Okay.
And he goes and hides in a closet, and then he feels like the shift, and while he's in the closet, he went through like a time portal or something, and he ended up in a locker at school. So then the
What?
next day
Cool.
he's like being chased by this bully or something at school, because he's the new kid and there's bullies, high
Yeah.
schooly stuff. And he goes and he gets in the locker, and he ends up back at his house.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
And then they start like hearing these noises and all this kind of stuff. And then they go and they find out that wall where those footsteps stop, the wall opens up. And they go in, and there's this really long hallway, the left and right, that doesn't look like, if you saw it from outside the house, it would extend well beyond the house. But you can't see it from outside the house. So it's like this into a different dimension. And then they
Wow.
can go into each room, and there's all these items in the room. And you have to have 3 items on you to go through the next, like each, all the hallways have all the doors. And then you go through the door and you enter into a room. Each of these doors enters into a different room. And it'll have a bunch of stuff from different eras, like the Civil War, the World War II, from, Alaska in such and such, like those stone tools and so like from different eras. And you have to take 3, and then you go through the door, and then you'll be in that time period in that place. And so
Interesting.
and anyway, and then they start feeling this pull, and they have to get back to the door, like when they start feeling this tug against them, against the items that they have on them. They have to get back to the door and get through, And then after they put the items back on like the rack that they got them off of, the door like has this like whirlwind kind of effect, like it pulls stuff off of them. And
Ooh.
if they had any sand or anything that came from that time period, it gets sucked into the doorway and then the door slams shut.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
So hold
it's
on,
like
hold
all
on.
this
How did they learn that they had to have three things?
they just started putting stuff on. Like they tried the door and then and then one of them was like, look at me. And then the door opened and they went,
Oh, okay.
my gosh. And so
Oh.
it's kind of like a, you see through a trial and error thing that they do.
Okay, okay,
Of course,
okay.
the author built it up this way. So, and at the end of the first book, I really don't want to spoil it, but it kind of has a recurring thing happen that kind of happened in the past.
Oh.
Oh, I think I know what happened. Oh,
And
I
they do
like it.
see big man
Big man?
with the big
Okay.
footsteps.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
see the big man and they follow him into there and they try to, and they keep seeing him go into the and they try to follow him and they can never catch up to him.
Okay.
So yeah, one of their goals throughout the series. Well, this is like an opening of a 6-book series.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
anyway, I think it happens pretty early on and it's like what leads the story. The big man takes their mama
Oh.
through the hallway, through a door,
Oh.
and their goal in like at first they were just like, "Oh, this is so cool," and then mom gets taken, and they now the whole rest of the series is going to be them trying to get their mom back.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
That's cool.
I like that,
Yeah.
dude. That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
It was a really neat little series. I really enjoy, especially the ending was I didn't see the ending coming, but
Oh,
and at
I
the end of
love
the
that.
series, and it was a series that I bought my nephew this year for Christmas because
Oh, cool.
he's a total reader, so I buy him a new series every year, and this was his this year, so it's been
Oh, cool.
kind of on my radar to reread it anyway,
Hey.
so that
So
we can talk
how
about it.
hey, how often have you read it? Or how long ago did
Um,
you read it? I'm sorry. Words.
I read it a couple years back. I found it, I don't know if y'all have these up there, but when I was in Houston, we have a place called Half Price Books.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
was
yeah.
a regular.
Okay.
So my I would just like be in there and I'd be like, I'm just gonna get one book.
That's the
I
addict's
Yeah.
phrase. Yeah,
n-
just one.
I am not an addict. I am a
No,
rescuer of books.
you
They're
are.
stuck in the
You are.
bookstore and I
Yes,
take them
you.
home and nurture them and love them.
Yes.
So I have tons of books from like the Half Price Books, and this was one of the series that I found, and I just, I would just read everything. So I read that one and I loved it, and so I reread it, and I'm really excited to reread it again because I really like this
Oh.
story. It was a good one. So
How many books are in the series?
6. The
6.
second
Okay.
one, man, I don't have it in front of me. Something about
Okay.
the Watcher in the Woods, I think.
Okay. Okay. That sounds awesome.
It was a good one.
Yeah, and there's no naughty priests, so that's nice.
No.
Yeah.
And it's
They're
by a
all
Christian
nice.
author, so obviously it's not like they don't have like a lot of like push on you Christian values. There is some
Okay.
mention like in the first book of like we need to find a church to go to or whatever,
Mhm.
but that's really it until the very, very end. Then it just has like a historical Christian moment in it.
Okay.
So, but it is by a Christian author, so there's not going to be anything raunchy or gory or
Okay.
anything like that. So it may not be like super thriller high horror, but it's just kind of like a suspenseful mystery kind of vibe,
That sounds very cool.
Yeah.
But it is a little scary because you're like, this big man stole my mom. Just threw
Exactly.
Yeah.
her over his shoulder and walked through the
Lumberjack
wall.
style.
Uh, oh boy. Okay, so that you gotta give us a rating though. Don't forget the rating.
Oh, okay, a rating.
Sorry.
I would give it a solid 9, like right on a 9.
Ooh,
Just
Wow.
because,
oh.
like, it is a little slow in some places and maybe a little bit predictable. And, kids are it's a little bit on the younger side of things,
Okay.
but it is a great story, well crafted.
Okay.
There aren't like holes in the story or anything like that. It's just, long a little bit in some places. but I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. And the ending was what like pushed it right. If it was like an 8.8, the ending pushes it up to a 9 for me because I know what's
Okay.
coming.
Oh, that sounds very cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so the one that I wouldn't normally read that I decided to read is Brandon Sanderson's Skyward. And it's sci-fi, and I'm not usually a sci-fi person. And I am now officially a sci-fi person. That was
Oh, good
really
for
fun.
you.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
It was it is I believe it does qualify as young adult. And it's how old are they? 17 when it starts?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, and fun
Okay.
fact, by the way,
Fun
Jed
fact.
also said that Skyward was what made him a sci-fi reader as well.
Hey. Well, I mean,
Yeah. I told him
it's
that you said
totally
that. He goes, Skyward was my first sci-fi, and that's what like really geared me towards the sci-fi genre as well. So,
well, I enjoy let's see. Oh, shoot. Oh, the development of the characters, like Rig, he starts out he's studying so hard for the test to become a
mhm,
pilot, and then he on the very first day of class, uh there's a firefight. He has to go out, and the next day he leaves. And then all of a sudden, Rig is now a mechanic, and he's an engineer, and like
mhm.
that was really fun. But
Right.
my favorite character development is Jerkface. I
Yes.
love him. I thought he was such a little jerk face at the beginning,
Jerk
and
face.
then
Hmm.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He's the
Um,
love interest.
yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. It's rivals to lovers at the
Yeah.
yeah,
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 definitely.
yeah, yeah. But there he's the what, flight leader? Is that what?
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
flight leader, and he
He,
was like bred for flying.
But he's only allowed to do it for a little while because his parents are influential, and they want him to go into politics. And there's
Yeah.
this whole big
Oh,
rich
Hmm.
person versus a poor person,
Yeah.
all this jazz. So he is once he actually gets over himself, he is a great character, and it's a lot of fun. And the fact that he owns his call sign of Jerkface, I
jerk
Yes,
love
face.
that. I love that.
he does. I love
They
him
were
for that.
they were mocking him with he couldn't think of a call sign because it was one that had already been used. And so the main character, Spin, she's going, well, I've been calling you Jerkface in my head, and everybody else started calling him Jerkface. So
No.
it became his call sign. So
Mhm.
there you go. That's the story of Morning
Yeah.
Glory. So yeah, it is a lot of fun, and um the backstory, it's really Brandon Sanderson is a master. That's just all there is to it. So
Absolutely. You forgot one of the main characters.
I did.
Yes,
What
it's like the typical theme of like boyfriend's a dragon egg, but like instead it's
girl
girl
find
finds
a girl?
out.
Oh, Mbot. I love Mbot. Mbot's my favorite character in the whole
You
book.
gotta tell Ryan what she found in the
So
What?
cave.
she's not allowed to sleep in the dorms with the other pilots because her
Oh,
dad is labeled a coward. So
okay.
she gets ousted, because reasons. She doesn't want to have to use these huge elevators to go up and down every day to get to flight school. So she basically goes and moves into this cave, and she finds
Oh,
this wrecked, like abandoned ship, and it's nothing like she's ever seen. And she steals Jerkface's like the battery for his car. Just she's being immature, and she's being a brat, and she steals the battery for his car and takes it back, and she powers up the ship, and it starts talking to her. So
oh. Like
Mbot.
your name and everything?
No, he's an
He's just an
AI.
AI. Yeah.
He's an AI.
Oh, okay.
And he
Which is
is
not allowed in this world. And they don't even live on planet Earth. They live on detritus, which is
Okay.
like a planet way out in the solar. It's just very dystopian, apocalyptic, like
yes,
post-apocalyptic era kind
Post-apocalyptic,
of deal.
yes.
Oh, okay.
But Mbot is trying to become more human, so he keeps complimenting Skyla's shoes, and he is obsessed by shoes and mushrooms.
And
So
mushrooms.
yes, you can't forget the mushrooms. He
Mm-mm.
wants to document all the mushrooms, and he's
Yes.
like, I can't do anything other than what my former master told me to do. And she's like, she's trying to convince him that he can. And he's like, no, I can't. I am a machine. All I can do is what I was programmed to do. She's like, yes, you can. Write a new subroutine. He's like, I can write a new subroutine. And all of a sudden, there he is. And he's my favorite. And I was belly
Yeah.
laughing, like literally
Yes,
belly
he's
laughing
so
during the climax
funny.
of the book.
Because he's sitting here trying to think about mushrooms. And he's like, I found the mushrooms, Spencer. And then she's like, Embot, come on, we have the battle to go to. He's like, I am not a fighting machine, Spencer.
But he
He
is. And
he is a precious
he
character,
is,
even though he's a
yes,
machine. You just fall in love with Embot.
absolutely.
Oh.
I forgot about my favorite character. How could I forget about my favorite
Just so I'm
character?
sitting here going,
No.
when is she gonna
What?
talk about Embot?
I can't believe I forgot him. But
And he's sitting here looking at me like, what are you talking
what?
about?
Sorry, my brain is on the couch.
I
It's
know,
it's
I know.
thinking tired thoughts. So
It is.
yeah, I
So what
I
do you give it?
I give it 9.327. And
Ooh,
yes,
loving.
that's a good one.
That is a good one.
But I don't give it the full 10 only because of the teenage angst. And I get sick of the teenage angst.
Yes,
So
Spencer has a lot of that.
she's very angsty,
Yes.
yes.
I don't know how many times I was reading the series and I just wanted to shake her like, girl, shut
Yes.
up. It's not all about you. Girl, there's a whole daggum world out here with all their other problems. Shut up. We ain't worried about
Exactly.
you and your boo-hoo, my daddy. I know, but gosh, come on. I feel for you, but
Careful, no
not.
spoilers, no spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it a
but yeah.
spoiler? Because it is like the
It
first,
is.
it's like
Yeah,
the
okay, good point.
prologue.
That's true. That's so true. Okay, not a
Mm.
spoiler, but yeah. I definitely like it, and I bought 3 extra Audible credits just so that I could get book 2, and I'm very happy about that decision. So it's a good one.
Oh, good. How about we
Yeah.
wrap this up and you go take a nap?
I gotta
Yeah.
finish writing a book. I am
No,
finished.
no. You can't. You'll
Take a
you'll
nap.
do your best work when you're well rested. Go take a
When
nap.
you're well rested. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Take
Yeah.
a little break. Right?
Finish
Yeah.
my tea. I'm gonna finish my tea.
Remember,
Well,
your
you
deadline
can't.
is something you put on yourself.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is so
You are the
true.
boss, and you can. I mean, I think you can
can't. Well,
extend
I
it
think
to
you are the boss right now.
me. No, God, no.
No, you're the boss.
Tony Dance's
Okay, well, if
boss.
I'm the boss, I say extend your deadline and go take a nap.
And don't kill Shane. Those are always the rules.
Absolutely not.
That is the one rule that Andy gave me for the Through the Mist series. She doesn't care what
Since
happens
book
to
1.
anybody. Yes, since book 1.
I was like, you can
She
kill
doesn't care.
Quinlan.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Doesn't care about
Don't kill
anyone
Shane.
other than Shane and Gavin. Those
Correct.
those are the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So all right. So yeah, we will be Ryan and I will be interviewing another narrator next week. I have not spoken to said narrator yet, so you gotta be patient. But yeah,
Yep.
we will be doing that, and
Then-
Andy will be back with us in 2 weeks, and we will
Yep.
be reading Blind Dates.
Yep.
Ooh.
Blind.
I actually have them sitting on the counter, and I was gonna show them, but I forgot. So
Okay.
yeah, you're just gonna have to imagine the very cutely decorated brown paper book that you will be opening and figuring out what you're reading. So, there you go.
It better not be
And
smut.
It won't be, I promise. At least I hope not, because I don't even know what they are.
yeah,
Oh, fingers crossed. It's
Okay,
not
yeah.
smutty.
yeah.
Yes,
All right.
One
definitely.
book's enough. All right.
All right. So I will see you guys later.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.